Well, here's an old tire. It's cracked along there. So I'm going to put a tube in. You know, it's 10 years old, so. If you're not sure where your leak is coming from, just use soap and water. It's pretty obvious. She's foaming right up. And around the bead too. Whenever you see those really tiny bubbles, that's a slow leak. So. And it looks like right there too. I'll put a little more soapy water on that spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this tire right off, put a tube in, inspect it for any wires or nails on the inside, which I doubt there's anything, but you always check and make sure, and put it back on. Well, there's another spot. It's leaking everywhere. It's just, I think I need a new tire, but I'll try and get the summer out of it. Maybe there too. Yeah, you see the deep cracks right there. Pretty deep. Probably leaking there too. I'm gonna put a little soapy water there. Oh yeah, check it out. So I mean, this tire is finished, but it just does light duty work. So, and it's not a must have machine. It's kind of a, I'll show you what it's off of later on. Probably one of my most neglected tools is this tire machine. So I found the 25 by 12-9. It's almost a match. This is 25-12-8, I think. This tire. No, 25-10-8. So that'll work. Close enough. And I put a little high chair here. I had to put a little 4x4. My tire's so small that the center of the rim isn't high enough at this height here. So just pops it off the rim. Come on. So I've switched to the vise because that tire machine is really designed for bigger rims. This rim's too small. I'm going to try clamping it in here. I got it in a piece of, I got a little cotton rag wrapped around some threaded rod. And I think I can hold it with that. A little T. Yeah, that'll work. I'm sure that's gonna work fine. All I gotta do is get half that tire off, and then just check for anything in that tire, and then put the tube in. So. Tires to me are just a pain. The only reason why I bought that tire machine was so I didn't have to bring my tires. I have a lot of tires I need fixed every year, so I didn't want to have to bring 5 or 6 tires to different tire shops. No tire shop will take all 5 or 6 every spring, so. Anyway, it's probably a boring video, but I don't care. Some of you guys need to know how to do this. Okay. Now we'll just take a nice clean rag and we'll go around there. You can use your hand too. You're looking for wires, thorns, nails, screws, anything sticking out through the tread pattern. And you put your tube in and it'll puncture a hole in your tube and you're right back to square one. But I know this tire is just finished. It's got cracks everywhere, and I know it was leaking last summer quite a bit. I would pump it up once a week or once every 4 or 5 days anyway, so it gets to be a pain doing that. This is a good day to get this over with, fix it up so it doesn't do that. I think I'm gonna buy a set of tires for it. If I have time over the summer, I'll order a few tires. I think it needs 2 fronts and maybe 1 or 2, maybe all 4. I know 1 back tire is not too great, so just fishing around for some stuff here with a knife. The side cutters are the best for these valve stems. There you go. You gotta get that out to get your tube in. So that's gotta be. You can't save these. When they're cut, they're gone. That's it, man. Yeah. Okay, we'll get the tube in. There's another spot I didn't even see. But look at that. That tire's completely finished. If I do get the summer out of it, it'll be a miracle. So I'll order a couple. So I'm just checking with a rag right now. I doubt there's anything in there. It's just 20 slow leaks. It stays up for about an hour now. So, look at my hands. There's no clean days at the shop. Okay, let's get this thing forced in there. One thing you gotta do is I like tubes with the nuts on them. It's got this type of washer and then 2 nuts. So it's locked on. It will not, I've had tubes where they pop inside the rim. Well, there's no way you'll ever get them out. And if they have a slow leak, you have to pretty well puncture the tube with a drill bit or something in that hole, because it won't leak down, so you can't get the tire off. It's got to have no air in the tube to get that off. So. Okay, so now you want to be careful you don't puncture your tube getting the tire back on. It's the trickiest part of the whole job. Oh, I hate doing this part. I try and start where the valve stem's sticking out, because that's where the tube is closest to the rim, and you're not going to put any screwdriver there. So. I'll bring you back, because you're not going to want to watch all this. Here's a better way on the floor. It's a little better than up on the vise. Getting it off is easier on the vise. Just gotta be patient. Take your time. Smaller rims. Actually, you know, when you think about it, the bigger the rim, the easier it is to put it back on. The smaller, the harder. Hope I'm not blocking the view, but we got it. There's a little you really gotta have this bead on this side down in the rim, down touching this part right here. That's the only way you'll ever get one of these tires on. There we go. That's it. That's really clean there. And the other side looks good too. No mud, no dirt. Give that a little wipe with a rag, and we'll pump it up, see what happens. Okay, just gotta pump it up. Takes maximum 10 psi. It's a 2-ply tire. If I were going to replace this, I would look for a 4-ply. They're going to be hard to find. That's an uncommon size, and they're going to be expensive. These tires are probably between $100 and $200 a piece, and probably leaning towards $200. I don't know why, but it's a golf course type of machine, turf tire. It's not off a 4-wheeler or an ATV, but they're very expensive. I don't know. They should be $60, $80. Want to make sure it's not getting pinched between the tire and the rim. Looks good. 10 psi. I'm gonna have to take a guess. My pressure gauge isn't here. It's on the site right now. And the other one broke, so trick is to have 3 or 4 of everything, because cheap little pressure gauge. I think to seat that, you got to get it up to about 40 psi. So I'll bring it right up and then we'll drop it back down. I like to bounce it off. Okay, it's the next day. This thing never did seat, and I don't like using soapy water because it tends to rust when you get water in there. So, okay, let's put it on. Go for a rip. Okay, get in there, you. There. Okay, do you know what it's off of yet? One bolt, real simple. Okay. Still don't know what it is? Well, there's a little hint. It's a Toro. Gotta take it off the... There's my jack. Okay, it's a Toro Workman. Came with this crack. I bought it from a golf course. So let's go for a boot. is. I bought this about 6 years ago now. 5-6 years ago. It's a 2006 Workman 2110. It used to say 2110 on it somewhere. I think the sticker peeled off. It's a pretty little handy little machine. Got a little box on the back. It's got the hydraulic. It's not hydraulic. It's a electric actuator. Right there. Little dump box. Got a. I think it's a 16 horsepower, or I think it says somewhere on it. 14 or 16 horsepower Briggs & Stratton V twin, and it's got the clutch. Infinite, like a Skidoo. It needed a lot of work when I got it, so I can talk about that in another video. So my boring tire repair video ends up being pretty fun at the very end. So this, this machine here, my little 14-year-old, 13-year-old kids, they just jump in it and go. It's a power wheelbarrow is basically what it is. So they can get things done that normally I wouldn't even be able to do. So there's the motor again. Needs a good pressure washing, but it goes through air filters like no tomorrow. I've got a hose I want to attach on here and run a snorkel up, so it draws air from way up above. You're driving on a dusty road, the tires raise dust, and it gets trapped in this engine compartment here. And I mean, I go through 2 filters a year, and the filters aren't cheap. They're $20 or something. So that's one thing I want to do this summer. And well, that's it. I'll talk about this machine a little more in another video sometime in the future. There's a little button for the dump box. It's got headlights. Got the little AC adapter here. Coffee cup holder. It's like a bit like a golf cart. You push on the pedal, it goes. The engine doesn't idle on its own, and you let go and it shuts off. So it's dangerous around kids. Make sure you have the keys taken out, because a little kid gets on it, a little 4-year-old or something, and the first thing he does is push on that pedal and it's the surprise of his life. So off it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope it wasn't too boring.